Welcome to Lunch with Legacy Leaders, a weekly talk show with local and national thought leaders discussing issues impacting the Black community. Now introducing our host, Ms. Ann Marie Sorrell.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunch with Legacy Leaders. I'm your host, Ann Marie Sorrell. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us this afternoon. Before I get started with our broadcast and our special guests, I'd like to thank our sponsors for making the broadcast possible: the Mesman and Dover Accident Attorneys, AARP, the Florida Lottery, and All of Us research program at the University of Miami. Today, I'm actually joined by Lisa Quammie-John, who is the Clinical Research Participant Specialist at All of Us research program at the University of Miami. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you, Ann Marie.
Thank you for being here. Now, I know we've been, you all have been a sponsor, and those who have been listening for the past few weeks are probably wondering, what is All of Us research program? But before we dive in, I want to just formally introduce you to our audience, and then we're going to get into what the program is all about.
Okay.
So Lisa Quammie-John is a clinical research participant specialist for the NIH-funded All of Us research program at the University of Miami, a research program that focuses on advancements in precision medicine. Quammie-John has worked in the public health field since 2005, both nationally and internationally, as a health educator on HIV/AIDS and STD prevention and control. Later, Quammie-John went on to served for 7 years as the counseling and testing trainer lead for the Florida Department of Health in Miami-Dade County, ensuring an effective training system existed for HIV counselor certification. So welcome again.
Right. Thank you so much.
So let's get into it. What is All of Us research program all about?
Okay, so definitely the All of Us research program, as you mentioned, is a nationally funded program with the NIH, which is National Institutes of Health. It's a large-scale program. This program is planning to run almost 10 years. Okay, we're looking to enroll about 1 million participants or more in this research program. This program wants to have researchers understand more of why some people get sick and why other people stay healthy. We're also going to be looking at what factors could influence or affect that, such as in your environment, a person's lifestyle, or how your genes could affect your health. The precision medicine aspect of it, really in a nutshell, is just there's no one-size-fit-all approach to medicine. We want to tailor it so it's more individualized for each person. And once we do that, if we reach our 1 million, we'll have a very large data bank where researchers can actually access this data bank to conduct research studies to help further, health and disease prevention and education and treatment and medicines and all that good stuff.
So what type of diseases or health issues are you researching? Are there specific types or?
Well, every researcher has their own specific, disease that they're focusing on, but primarily you have a lot of cancer research, heart disease, nutrition. So it varies depending on what the researcher is actually specifically focusing towards.
Okay, and is it specifically for minority groups that you're researching, or is it in a particular segment of the population, or is it any group of people?
Any group of people. Hence, in the name of our program, All of Us, we really want all of us inside this program. So we want to highlight and showcase the diversity of the population that we have in this country. So we really want everybody from all walks of life, participating in this program.
Okay. How are you getting your participants, if you don't mind me asking, and how successful have you been so far?
I find our program's been very successful. I mean, nationally, we're trying to reach 1 million. Like I mentioned, we're a little over 400,000 participants enrolled. We do it through social media. We make calls. We have, media advertising and just word of mouth. I mean, we have participants who are very happy with the program, who spread the word to other participants, other family members and friends who want to join. So that's kind of how we're trying to, get the message out there that we're here.
Okay. So Miami, why was Miami chosen out for the location of the program?
Oh, definitely because it's diverse. Like I said, we want to have a very diverse participant. So what more better place than Miami? I mean, this is a very, very diverse, very, very, very diverse. So this is where our program, one of our programs are.
Okay, so I want to ask you, when people think about research or clinical research, some people get excited about it. I know I've heard people like, oh yeah, I like participating in, clinical research studies for varying amounts of reasons. But then there are people who are very hesitant and reluctant about participating in any type of research study. So how have you found it to be? Has it been challenging? And, how can you give people any type of assurance that may have hesitance in participating in clinical research studies?
Well, privacy is very important to us. We take a lot of safeguards in place to keep your information private. The program is voluntary. We pretty much leave it up to you to decide how much you want to be in the program, involved in the program, or how much you don't want to be in the program. For instance, the program does provide DNA results to participants, and you can say, yes, I want to get my DNA results and know where my ancestors come from, or no, I don't want to receive my DNA results. I just want to participate through providing information only. Um, and we have a great team that's here. We're here to help if you have any questions. The program has a national number that you can call. They even offer genetic counseling if other questions come up from your DNA results. And that's really about it. It's just we're very transparent with this program and the information that we share.
Do you find that people see the need for research of this type?
I think they do. I think when you really explain it and you say it's like not a one size fit all approach, where hopefully in the future, a treatment or a medicine can be geared toward you specifically, um, and not just in general. Let's just try this medication to see if it's going to work for you or not. But we already know because of your genetic makeup or because of your social habits or your nutrition or your lifestyle that maybe this is a medicine or this is a treatment that will best work for you. um, it's something that we want to encourage people to participate in.
Right. No, no, no. Thank you for that. So I have a follow-up question on it, especially when we talk about DNA. I know there's been a lot of talk about DNA, especially as it relates to vaccines and, does vaccines change your DNA makeup? But then there's also um, when there was, I believe it was 23andMe or one of um, the DNA programs out there that was purchased by a large corporation, and many people, I believe it was either Google that purchased them or something like that, and people were very concerned about how the data is used when it comes to DNA. And so I didn't know if you had any thoughts on, the concerns that people have around how their DNA data is being used and how your program works with DNA data.
Okay, so how that the DNA is being used. So it's used for research purposes. Um, Researchers that have to go through a strict kind of guidelines. There's to be approved to be able to access the research that we have through the program that's in our database. um, they can use it for various research, but it has to be approved beforehand, and it only can be used for that what it's been approved for. To safeguard that information, when a participant comes into our program, into our clinic to get enrolled, and the DNA sample, the blood sample is collected, it's de-identified. So they don't attach your name, your date of birth, or any information to that. So the researchers don't have your information. They can't identify you and they have to guarantee that they're not going to try to find you either. Um, we we try our best to do testing for genetic information. So what we would provide to our participants from the study is your genetic ancestry. We'll provide them with trait information. We'll also be able to provide them with health-related information, so such as if you may have an increased risk for developing a certain disease like cancer or heart disease, how certain medicines may affect you. So that's the information that we use. That's what they're analyzing the DNA for, to provide that information to you, the participant in the program.
Okay, so it's specifically to the participant, and then if, I just want to make sure I'm clear, and if a scientist needs the general DNA information, they have to then, identify what they're using it for and then get that approved before they can use anonymous access to the anonymous DNA data.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I just want to clarify that because I think that's a big concern of people, and DNA, as you know, has been a huge topic over the last couple of years, especially when we watch sci-fi movies and they can separate DNA and do all these other things.
And you can choose to, like I said in the program, you can decide if you want to even get your DNA results. You can still participate and not receive genetic information from the program. You could just provide us with the health-related information through our surveys. So you have a choice. You can always come in one way and decide, I want to make some changes. I don't want to do this. And then, you can go ahead and make changes to how you want to be, how involved you want to be.
Now, are you all able to study any of the impacts from COVID, for example, since it's been a couple of years now, and people have, each person, of course, has their own way. I know I've had my own way that my body has unfortunately responded to COVID. So are there any studies that you all have, or, especially so two-part question. Is there any information that you can give to people individually that may participate in your study on how COVID has impacted or may impact them? And then B, is there any general information that your scientists are studying from the participants that you're getting as a result, of the COVID impacts?
Okay, so let me ask the first part. So in the beginning, early on in this program, when we came out back in 2018, when participants came in and they gave their blood specimen, researchers were actually, when COVID came out, they actually did testing for antibodies to COVID-19. Funny enough, actually, as early as December of 2019, we had participants enrolled in the program with antibodies to COVID-19 before actually really, all hell broke loose in March of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So it was around, we found out from the research that it was around a little bit before we actually knew it was here in our country.
Wow.
Yeah, so with that, researchers are also doing more testing. So I guess to kind of answer A and B, they are doing testing research in regards to COVID. We also have a survey that we released over the last 10 months that we do ask our participants about the COVID-19 vaccine and if they were ever vaccinated. And we look at some of the reasons why persons got vaccinated and why some persons chose not to get vaccinated. So that was another little study they were also doing in regards to the COVID-19.
But does it also go as far as any effects they've had from vaccination, as well as any effects they've had from COVID if they had been infected?
Some of the answers or choices on the questionnaire on the survey part does ask that. They'll ask if a reason why you're not getting the vaccine is because you had a bad reaction when you had COVID. So and then you can always, put the option in of adding any other issues that you may have had.
Okay. Now, for someone who might be listening and they might be interested in participating, just even for their own data, what steps do they take? How do they go about getting involved in a research study? Are there any incentives for any of your recruitment efforts?
Yes, definitely. So you're going to want to go to our website, which is joinallofus.org/Miami. You want to set up an account. They have to set up an account first. You'll need to do that account with a valid mobile number or phone number or an email address. Okay. The program was designed in a way that you would have to come in for a one-time in-person clinic visit. After that, everything else can be done through what we call the patient portal, which is accessible online. So when the client comes in, They have they have to go through the consent process. They will have a few health surveys to complete, and they're going to have what's called physical measurement and biospecimen collection. So with the physical measurements, they will be they'll have their height and weight, the waist or circumference. They'll have their blood pressure checked, and then they'll have to give a biospecimen sample, which is going to be blood and urine or possibly a saliva sample. And they're compensated for that in-person visit one time or a $25 compensation.
Okay. And then do they have to come back for any follow-up, or is that it?
That should be it, unless the program has a need, but they would reach out to them directly if there is. But like I said, everything else could be taken care of on their participant portal. Their results will be inside of there. They can make changes to their account, whether they want to receive their results or not. They can review their consents and all, results, everything goes in there. So everything is online.
Wow, it seems pretty simple. It seems pretty simple. And you're able to really get, for those who are a little more health conscious and want to understand what, is happening. Now, and you may have said this, does it analyze, there's some research that can also analyze, what you may be prone to having in the future, even if like you're not impacted by it currently, that there's a possibility that you could have certain health impacts in the future. Does it give any type of analytics around that, or is it just focused on what's currently happening in your body?
It's if you have a predisposition, so like an increased risk of having a particular health disease or condition. That's what they analyze and let you know.
Okay. So that's actually, so do you find that could be very helpful in helping people do more preventative type actions or lifestyle changes or anything along, like for a person, a regular person who's listening, who's just like, well, how does this like really help me in the future? Like, does it allow them to make any lifestyle changes or behavior changes or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I believe that's the program. I mean, for those participants who are willing, who want to receive their genetic information, the DNA information, definitely it sparks a conversation they can have with their healthcare provider about my health. So when you get that information, you have that conversation. And also, like I mentioned before, we do have genetic counselors on hand, free of charge, through the program to help them with any issues or concerns. Because you might be getting this information, it might be, a little scary. You might be, a little concerned, but to know that, the program is also covering that and also there for you if you have any questions.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like a really good program. Well, Lisa, I really didn't get to dive into much of it. How did you, what's been your journey to get to this point, to be involved in research such as this?
Oh, wow. I started off, as you mentioned before, back in 2005, when I graduated with my MPH, and it was all about HIV/AIDS. I love HIV, the field of HIV. I love the field of public health. So I did many, many years in there. So now I just decided to shift my little gears a little bit. I'm still in public health, but I'm in public health research, which I also am realizing that I really love this too. I'm a people person. I love getting out in the community. I love talking to people, and I get to do the same thing here with this research, whether it's in person, because we do also still have some in-person appointment visits that we have with participants, because not everybody's tech savvy, so we do offer that as well. Hey, if you want to come in, we'll help you out too as well. But definitely that's my journey. I just love public health, and I just love what I do, and just educating people and empowering people to take better care of themselves.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So is there any, I think we covered quite a bit about the program, but I definitely want to just give you the opportunity to share any additional highlights that you may feel that our listeners, if I didn't touch on anything that our listeners could benefit from. And of course, once again, letting them know how to get involved, how to reach out to get their DNA information.
Definitely. So, like I said, we're all about getting participants. We definitely want to get a very diverse set of participants. Like I said, what better place? We're here in South Florida. We want participants. Don't think that there's any participant that we won't take. Okay, so just all you have to meet the criteria: be 18 years or older. We want persons who are old, who are young. We want persons who live in the city, who live out in the rural areas. We want all races, all ethnicities, all backgrounds, sexual orientations, just all persons to be involved in this program. So, I mean, that's my pitch right now.
Well, I guess I do have one last follow-up question. If someone already has a pre-existing condition, they may have diabetes, they may have hypertension, they may have even HIV/AIDS, any ailment that they may already have a condition. And they may say, well, I don't see how this is going to benefit me. What would you tell them?
It definitely will. Like I said, we want persons who are healthy, we want persons who are sick. The reason why, we want to know why, if you have this particular disease, why this medicine works for you and the same medicine doesn't work for this person with that same disease. And that's what this research is all about, trying to figure out and put those puzzle pieces together to have that, again, not one size fit all approach, and have your health, your treatment, medicines tailored to you individually.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. Come on, we're here.
Well, there you have it. Everyone who's listening, all of us, research program is not just about helping you individually, which it can, with your health and helping you have a better understanding and picture of your overall health and what you're at risk for, but you can also help the greater good, especially as many people know in our community, in the Black community and communities of color in general, we have some of the highest health disparities, and we really have to work on fixing them through. And I think research is a great way, and just knowing and understanding. I actually recently did a nutrition test to see where I was deficient in different minerals and things like that, and so it was very eye-opening. But a lot of those tests cost quite a bit of money, so here it is, University of Miami is giving an opportunity where you don't have to pay for this test, right? Yes. They actually pay you $25 to come and get the test done instead of you spending several $100s to get this test and get this information. So I do encourage anyone who is listening to please follow up with all of us. All of us Research Center, this will not only help you individually, and that's why we bring this information from Legacy, but it also helps our community in understanding these various health challenges and, of course, how we can collectively work to fix them. So, Lisa, thank you. I so appreciate you bringing this information to us today. And I hope I said all of that properly. This just was my perspective.
No, yes, and I just want to highlight off of that. When you look at, you can just say breast cancer, for instance, the rate of breast cancer in white women as opposed to Black African American women is pretty comparable, but the outcome is so different. Why are more Black African American women dying of breast cancer than white women? We want to, again, fit those puzzle pieces together and figure out what is it in your lifestyle, is in your genes, is in your environment that is affecting your health outcome so drastic that it's so different from another particular race or ethnicity. So that's what this research program is all about.
Absolutely. Well, sign me up. Because I think, like I said, I think it's important for not only as individuals, but definitely important for us as a collective community in understanding these different health challenges. All right. Well, Lisa, thank you for joining us. If you just stay with me for a moment, I have some announcements that I'd like to make. And of course, thank our audience for tuning in again. And I want to thank our sponsors for again making this broadcast possible. Thank you to Mesman and Dover Accident Attorneys, AARP, the Florida Lottery, and all of us Research Program University of Miami, who we have with us here today. So if you missed it, make sure you go back and play this from the beginning. And our partner at Broward College, if you are looking for a higher paying job, start your life-changing career in 2 years or less with Broward College Fast Track Certification Program. Training is available for South Florida's top earning industries. And I'm talking about earning anywhere from $30 plus, $40 plus, $50 plus per hour. And you can learn more at broward.edu/fast track legacy or call 954-306-9085. Also, be sure to check out our current Black History Month issue. We still have a few more days left in Black History Month, so make sure you check out all of our history makers that's happening in and around South Florida. And we have something for everyone. So I hope you are tuned in to all of our MIA Media Group shows. On Mondays, we have the Business of Black Business at 1 p.m. with Jay Reynolds. Tuesday, My Money, Your Money at 7 p.m. with Bridgette Lumpkins. Wednesday, Soul, where we're covering fashion, entertainment, art, culture at 7 p.m. with Nikki Jellin. Thursday, of course, with yours truly, Lunch with Legacy Leaders at noon. And at 7 p.m. on Thursday, we have Chef Irie, who has given us all the flavors of Black restaurants in South Florida. So please make sure you tune in. And of course, always share this video, mark your calendar for every Thursday, and we'll see you next week at noon. Thank you again, Lisa, and thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.